Captain Lee Roseback was one of the most famous characters from Below Deck, but even though he's been on the show since it started, he won't be returning for season 11. It wasn't Captain Lee's choice to leave. The real reason he's off the show and the bizarre drama that came from that decision are honestly crazy. On Below Deck's 10th anniversary special, Captain Lee surprisingly hinted that his time on the series had come to an end, but afterward he stayed pretty quiet for a while until he finally set the record straight. When Captain Lee spoke to Christina Garibaldi from Us Weekly, he revealed the truth about his future on the series. He had no plans to leave or retire, and he'd been invited back for all 10 years. But then, without any warning, Captain Lee was fired.
Did not see that one coming at all.
It was a huge shock to Captain Lee when he wasn't invited back. According to the Sun Centennial, he claimed that a producer he had never talked to before broke the news to him over a phone call. But the reason they gave for not wanting Captain Lee to return sounded a little suspicious.
We're going to move in a new direction. We want to freshen it up a little.
Captain Lee has fired his fair share of people over the years. That's why he didn't fully believe the producer's reason, which seems so overused and vague.
Kind of a cliche that everybody uses when they find themselves in that situation where they're going to let somebody go.
But that didn't change the fact that Captain Lee was off the show. However, there were a couple of unexpected problems that he faced during season 10 that might have factored into his firing. What happened first was extremely difficult.
But having to tell the crew that mid-season I had to leave.
Captain Lee was suffering from a nerve issue that was only getting worse. It caused him severe pain that felt like electric shocks in his leg. Sometimes the left side of his body would totally be numb, which made it hard to get around.
And I was more of a liability than I was an asset, and that's hard to admit to yourself.
Captain Lee confessed to Sun Centennial that because of his health issues, he was a few days late to the start of filming for season 10. He said that the production crew was really understanding, but when the pain and numbness started causing him to fall, his world was turned upside down.
I'd been defeated, or at least knocked down.
Captain Lee admitted that an executive from Bravo had a tough conversation with him behind the scenes. They discussed the possibilities, but Captain Lee knew he had no other option. He had to return to the United States for medical care.
I'd never quit anything in my life. And for me to walk off that boat was hard.
Captain Sandy Yon temporarily stepped in for Captain Lee. Back in America, he was spending up to 5 hours a day doing intense physical therapy. About a month later, Captain Lee encountered the second problem that might have played into him not being invited back.
Oh yeah, that came right out of left field.
While Captain Sandy was in charge, she ended up firing one of Captain Lee's crew members, Camille Lamb. She called Captain Lee to let him know about Camille being let go. Everything was fine at first, but what he realized when that episode aired was absolutely crazy. Captain Lee didn't know that when Captain Sandy called him, she had already fired Camille. Although he understood the reason why she'd been let go, he couldn't understand why Captain Sandy didn't call him beforehand. What happened next was insanely dramatic.
I would have made the same decision. Just would have gone about it differently.
Captain Lee posted on Twitter about how frustrated he was with the true order of events. He claimed that even though Captain Sandy made the right choice by firing Camille, telling him after it happened was so disrespectful.
I just thought she should have called me, and she didn't, and I said what I thought, and to me that was it.
But Captain Sandy thought that Captain Lee was being immature by publicly calling her out. She added that she had respected him by letting him know that she had fired Camille. In her opinion, she did nothing wrong because she was the captain at the time.
As a captain, you're not going to call him up and say, "Can I fire someone?" You don't need permission. You're actually in command.
Captain Lee and Captain Sandy continued their feud in the form of indirect, cryptic social media posts. She shared quotes about what it feels like to be destroyed by other people, and he made vaguely pointed comments about how hurt people will hurt other people.
Is it maybe going to cost you some friendships?
Eventually, Captain Lee's nerve issue had improved a considerable amount. He still needed to use a crutch to walk around, but he felt ready to take back his role as captain.
I had to get back up and get back to the boat.
When Captain Lee returned to the boat, he and Captain Sandy weren't at a point where they wanted to make amends yet. It turned out that they still hadn't spoken to each other at all.
No, we haven't had the opportunity to have a conversation.
Captain Lee didn't seem to care if he and Captain Sandy ever talked things out, but she seemed a little more interested in trying to have a conversation at first.
I did reach out to him a few times. He just hasn't called me back.
After Captain Sandy tried calling Captain Lee a few times and didn't hear back from him, she pretty much gave up. She didn't seem to care if they were in each other's good graces, but both of them still believed that they were in the right while the other person was wrong.
Is the right thing always going to be easy to do?
Could the drama really have caused the show's producers to not invite Captain Lee back? Or was the reason actually related to his health issues? Besides his nerve issue, he had previously gone through several other medical scares and setbacks in his health. Just 2 months before Captain Lee started filming season 10, he had a major operation done on his back. The recovery itself took close to 2 months. He's so lucky he didn't severely injure his back by returning to the boat, especially while going through the healing process. Captain Lee wasn't able to be right on schedule with filming season 9 either. Due to a heart condition called AFib, he had to have a serious heart surgery, but that's still not all. Right before Captain Lee was supposed to start filming for season 8, he had an unbelievable accident. Apparently, he fell in the shower, which left him bruised and with some broken ribs. He definitely appears to have some kind of bad luck streak when it comes to health and medical concerns. Captain Lee also needed to have 2 operations done on his foot. One was in 2015 and one in 2018. With as many health struggles as he's experienced in just the last 5 years, it might be a good thing that he's taken at least a little bit of time off the show. Maybe the producers truly did see Captain Lee as a liability and felt too worried about his health and safety to risk another season. But even though he won't be returning for season 11, his nerve pain seems to be much more manageable now.
I'm still going to the gym every day. I feel great.
Yeah, feel better than ever.
Yeah.
Captain Lee had obviously been hoping to be invited back to the series that he'd been on since day one, but just because he's not returning to Below Deck this season doesn't mean he's taking it easy.
In fact, I think I'm busier now than I was when I was filming.
Believe it or not, he's still working on some separate opportunities with the network.
I still have an affiliation with Bravo.
Recently, Captain Lee teamed up with his longtime friend and former chef, stewardess Kate Chastain. Their new show, Couch Talk, just premiered in August, and it seems to be a hit already. In each episode, Captain Lee and Kate watch and commentate on a variety of Bravo TV show clips and then discuss the drama afterward. But Couch Talk isn't the only thing Captain Lee has been working on with Bravo.
We've got 2 or 3 projects that are in the works.
It sounds like Captain Lee has a lot on his plate, but he still isn't ruling out the possibility of making more TV appearances in the future. Surprisingly, he would even hypothetically return to Below Deck for season 12.
Yeah, if they found out that they needed me back on the show, I'd go back. Sure.
Captain Lee loved being on the show, but that's not the only reason he would agree to go back. Besides mentioning the uncertainty he felt about the future on the 10th anniversary special, he never got the chance to give viewers a genuine goodbye.
If I'm going to make an exit, I would kind of like to do it on different terms.
From now, Captain Lee still has no plans to stop working anytime in the near future. He claimed that being productive is way better than being bored or doing nothing.
Hell no, I'm not anywhere close to retired.
It'll be interesting to see if Captain Lee will ever be asked to return to Below Deck or what his next project with Bravo will be. It sounds like he'll be collaborating with some exciting co-stars for his next show.
I've got some great people that I'm going to be working with. And no, I won't tell you who they are.
I know.
But now that we've gotten into the drama and health issues that might have played a part in Captain Lee getting fired, I'm curious. What do you guys think was the real reason for producers not inviting him back to Below Deck? And what are your thoughts on the feud between Captain Lee and Captain Sandy? Let me know in the comments below.